Well, guys, once again, good evening. Welcome to the second part of this session. Well, guys, basically, we are just about to finish our, not only the cycle, but the whole level. We're going to finish B1. I'm sure that you already know, but I'm going to repeat the information, of course. That means that your final exam is going to be maybe a little bit different compared to the other exam that you have already taken when we're finishing the cycle. That is why tonight, instead of, let's say, just having a look at some exercises or grammatical component or things like that, it's just to give you like a general overview of what the exam is going to be. I'm pretty sure that you are already like familiar with the not the content like specifically, but how it is organized. But my intention is like to refresh your memory a little bit, to practice like very specific exercises. Once again, just like to give you like an idea. And of course, at the end, to talk about the parameters that I already sent you this morning related to the speaking part. You already know that we have the speaking part on the second part of the session on Tuesday. That would be after 8. I hope that you managed to finish this exam on the first part. Well, actually, you have 1 hour and 10 minutes. That's all the time that you will have. So we would finish the level, okay? And that is basically the intention of tonight, to have a look at it. And of course, as usual, I'm going to take attendance first. I think that most of you are already here, so I can do that already. Yeah, most of you are already here. Let's take attendance so we can actually start working on tonight's activity. 17. Saray Acevedo.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Cristian Albarracín.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Joelia Ayala.
Here, teacher.
Okay. Andrea Vaca.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. Gilbert Cárdenas. Not here for the moment. John Carrero. Not here for the moment. Brian Cordero. Not here as well. Stephanie Córdoba.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. Silvia Durán.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Freddy Fonseca.
I am here.
Okay. Diana Lisette. No, momento. Joey Lisette Liscana.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. Bueno, ponlo más. Okay. Diana Lisette Lozada.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Daniela Lozada.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Andrea Juliana Muñoz.
I'm here, teacher.
Okay. Natalie Joana Pérez. Didn't I see Natalie? Mayra Yolette Pinzón.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Mayra Alejandra Plata.
Present, teacher.
Okay. Harold David Rodríguez. Okay, there you are in the chat. Well, I hope that the chat works tonight, not like yesterday. Janini Sanchez.
Hello.
Hello, Janini, there you are. Angelica Stephanie.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Angelica. Daniela Fernanda.
Hi,
Isn't that-
teacher.
Okay, I was going to say, I'm sure that I saw her. There you are. Ana María Velasco.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Anna. Jennifer Jimena Vera.
Here, teacher.
There you are. And I just saw Brian.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, Brian, there you are. You raise your hand. There is another person, but I just clicked on ingresar and I didn't pay attention to the name. It was Natalie, right?
Yes, teacher, I'm here.
There
Sorry.
you are. Don't worry. So just to confirm, the ones that are absent for the moment are Gilbert, John, and that's it. Well, guys, let me ask one question to the coordinator to make sure that all of you already took the survey, and then we can start talking about our final exam. Okay, in case that maybe some of you are missing that information, the coordinator will let us know, but I'm sure that up to this point for you, it's like a normal process. Well, guys, as I was telling you at the beginning a few minutes ago, the idea of tonight is to have a look at the format that the exam has. In general aspects, there are some activities that are pretty similar to the exam that you have already taken at the end of the different cycles, but this exam in particular has the format of the PET exam. The PET exam, as some of you already know, aims to evaluate B1 level. So instead of only evaluating the aspects that were, let's say, studied during B1.5 in specific, that would be like probably the most normal idea, we are actually evaluating everything that is related to the level, the whole level, that is B1. Okay, just a reminder, guys, I was asking about, the survey, and Professor Daniela tells me that she has already sent you the link through the WhatsApp group. If you haven't done it, don't forget to do it tonight. Okay, so remember that the exam, guys, is divided into two parts. Part one is going to cover listening, reading, and writing, while part two covers the speaking component. Of course, on the first part, you will be, let's say, paying all your attention to these different skills that are going to be evaluated. I already told you that it takes as a point of reference the PET exam, but this is a standard test from the university. Your exam, the first part, is going to be divided into the following parts. Let's put it like that. Listening is going to have 4 parts. Reading is going to have 5 parts. And writing is going to have 3 parts. Something that I can tell you from now before we actually have a look at some detail, not that really detailed, of course, how each part is being developed, you will notice that from each skill, the activities or the questions begin from, let's say, easy ones, and then the skill that is evaluated finishes being a little bit more demanding. So what I'm trying to tell you is that don't waste a lot of time with the first questions, because that time will be needed, let's say, at the end of each skill. Okay. Listening, it says the first part we have 7 questions. Then we have 6 multiple choice, 6 blank spaces, which is actually the type of exercise that we are going to use to review, well, to study a little bit that aspect tonight. And then we have 6 questions from a conversation where you have to decide if the statements are true or false. They're reading the same idea. We begin with 5 signs. The questions are multiple choice. The part 2, we have 8 descriptions for 5 people. The idea is to match. Part 3, 10 questions from a text. The idea is to decide it's similar to true or false. In some cases, it appears like correct or incorrect. Part 4, it's a reading. It's a kind of long reading. It's not that short that we may expect. We have multiple choice questions. In this case, 4 possibilities. And then part 5, we have a text that has 10 blank spaces. The idea is to complete them with the best grammatical words. That's the exercise that we're going to use tonight as a point of reference. And then writing, we're going to have sentence transformation that you are already familiar with that one. Write a short email and to choose one text from 2 ideas. In that case, you have to write down a text of 100 words. Remember, guys, all these questions must be done in 110 minutes, okay? So, piece of advice, be as punctual as possible next Tuesday. Let's start having a look at the aspects that will be evaluated on the listening part. As I was telling you guys, we are just having like a very general view of what is going to be on the exam. Of course, I am not going to tell you the questions of the exams, but for you like to have a very general idea. As I was telling you from the first part, the first exercise basically is multiple choice. You will listen to 7 different conversations, okay? The conversations, they are not connected at all. For each conversation, there will be 3 different possibilities. You have to choose, of course, the possibility that fits the question that is being asked. The idea is to identify, of course, key information from these short exchanges. On this type of listening, the PET exam in general, all the exams, you know, tend to be very tricky because they always include all the information, for example, that we can see on the 3 images. It usually happens like that. So a piece of advice, wait until you actually listen to the whole piece of information before choosing the answer. Don't take for granted that because you see the information from the picture 2, you listen, sorry, to the information from picture 2 on the first 2 seconds and then you move to the other one. Never, never, never believe that the answer is as easy as, you know, I just told you. Probably in some cases, actually it is, but wait until the end. So you can actually make an informed decision of the type of answer that you're about to collect. The good thing is that, I say the good thing from my perspective, is that on the exam, the track is going to sound only twice and that's it. But as I was telling you guys, if you listen to it twice, then don't wait like, okay, the picture, she's talking on the phone, okay. She has like dark hair and she has like, probably it's like blonde. This is a letter. Don't waste valuable time that you will need for the end of the exam, okay? You listen twice, you already managed to get the information, choose the question, the answer, sorry, that is relevant and move on. As I was telling you, all the questions begin from the easiest to the most demanding ones. I don't want to use the difficult word. And the second part, it is going to be a longer monologue, or usually it is an interview. There is one main speaker, like it is the person who is actually providing the answers. In this case, we have 3 different possibilities. One aspect that it's, let's say, funny that happens on this part is that during the development of the instructions, they say, you have 20 seconds to read the questions, and then it gets completely silent. And then people start thinking, okay, this is not working. I have a problem with my exam. I mean, I have internet connection, blah, blah, blah. Pay attention to the instruction. The person, let's say the recording has that instruction included, that you have 20 seconds to read all the questions and the possibilities. Ideally, this time is assigned for you to like write down words like, okay, the first question is about a price. The second question is about a place. And things like that, you know, that it is what is supposed to happen during those 20 seconds. It sounds obvious a little bit, but I want to clarify that part. The information is presented chronologically, you know, and it has the same sequence of the questions. Just make sure that you don't miss them. Of course, you're going to listen twice, but keep in mind that they are very organized. Part 3 is actually very interesting, and as I was telling you, it's a type of exercise that we are going to practice tonight, because in this case, the idea is to write down information, okay? Usually what we have to write down is one word. In some cases, the word could be a date, could be also the name of a street. That means that this part always contains a spelling. I'm sure that you already know that all professors, we have to grade your exams like manually. You may think that we just like get the results. We receive the information from iSpring and we put the number, and no, we have to check every single answer that you sent to make sure that actually not only was correct, but also to analyze that in some cases your answer is correct, but the program is taking it as incorrect. So that is why we have to do that. And this part is one of those exercises where we have to check your answers, you know. Probably you used a comma instead of a period to talk about the time. But anyway, the general idea of the answer is correct. In this case, as I was telling you, be careful with the instruction. Usually is to write a word or a number. And the final one, as I was telling you, it is then the most demanding one from the listening part. It is a longer informal dialogue, usually talking about entertainment, talking about, let's say, money spent, shopping, things like that. It's never like a very, let's say, a structured or academic conversation that takes place on the final exercise of the listening. The activity says yes or no. We can say, or we can consider like true or false, just in case. There will be 6 different questions. And again, they are all organized. And that's part 1, talking about the listening. Guys, I would like to know if you have any questions from this part.
No.
Oh, teacher. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I know that tonight is going to be like this first part, me giving information, but I just want you to be aware of how long it is, and for you to be like very, let's say, careful with time. But it is just like, you're really good, you know. I'm sure that it won't be a real problem for you, but please guys, be very careful with time. Well, as I was telling you, we're going to have a mini practice. In this case, I'm taking part 3. I invite you to write down your answers, probably on your notebook, or I don't know, wherever is easier for you. I'm going to read the instruction for you. You will hear a woman, well, also this information is going to be on the track, but I'm gonna read it. You will hear a woman talking on the radio about a new sports center. For each question, fill in the missing information in the numbered space. Notice that here we have the spaces. It says new sports center. This is the information that we have to collect. But let's do the activity on, let me check here. Okay. I just like the number of participants keep on changing. I don't know why. I'm gonna, let's say, play the recording so we can follow the instructions, how they are presented on the activity, because that's how they will appear on the exam. As you already know, we're gonna listen twice, and let's try to keep, you know, the same regulation that we have on the exam, that we listen only twice. Not like in other cases that we listen like 3 times. We're gonna keep it twice. Guys, do you have any questions about the instructions?
No, teacher.
Oh,
Okay.
questions.
It's gonna be
Teacher, what is the name of the exam?
pet. Wait,
Okay,
actually,
thank you.
and to give you a little story, Actually, the exam has like a new format. So this is like the previous version because now the exam has also a new name. It's only preliminary, but change some, well, not many things, actually it's pretty much the same, just one part of the written part and on the speaking. But that's the name PET exam. If you want to practice on the weekend, let me write it down, although I'm sure that you already noticed. PET exam. That's the name. The previous version, because the new one, the name is only preliminary. Okay. Well, guys, let's
Thank you.
follow the instructions how they are presented. Welcome. Ready.
Now turn to part 3, questions 14 to 19. You will hear a woman talking on the radio about a new sports centre. For each question, fill in the missing information in the numbered space. You now have 20 seconds to look at part 3. Now we are ready to start. Listen carefully. You will hear the recording twice.
And now Judy is going to tell us about Wimport's new sports centre. Judy, you're the new manager.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to welcoming all your listeners to the new sports centre. It was due to open last week on the 5th of May, but we had a problem with the roof, so it's actually opening on the 12th of May. So I do hope as many people as possible will come and join, and also come to our party on Saturday, the 14th of May. That will be from 2 in the afternoon. It's not on the same site as the old sports centre, which was next to the supermarket. The new one is on the other side of the road from the station. There used to be a hotel there. There's a large car park if you want to drive there. The entrance to the car park is down a small side road, Fortescue Road. That's Fortescue. Please don't try to park in the road or outside the centre. You can pay for membership for a week, a month, or a year. For a year's membership, it costs £450. Monthly membership is £40, and if you pay weekly, it will cost you £9.50. So you save money by paying for a whole year. You need to wear trainers and suitable clothes, but you don't need to bring a towel. That saves carrying a huge bag around with you. We are very lucky to have Sonia Smith joining us, who is going to give dance classes daily at 5:30. Check on our website to get more information about that. We will also have exercise and yoga classes, but those times aren't decided yet. So that's all I have to say for the moment. I look forward to seeing some of you.
Now listen again.
And now Judy is going to tell us about Wimport's new sports centre. Judy, you're the new manager.
Yes, thank you. I'm looking forward to welcoming all your listeners to the new sports centre. It was due to open last week on the 5th of May, but we had a problem with the roof, so it's actually opening on the 12th of May. So I do hope as many people as possible will come and join, and also come to our party on Saturday, the 14th of May. That will be from 2 in the afternoon. It's not on the same site as the old sports centre, which was next to the supermarket. The new one is on the other side of the road from the station. There used to be a hotel there. There's a large car park if you want to drive there. The entrance to the car park is down a small side road, Fortescue Road. That's Fortescue. Please don't try to park in the road or outside the centre. You can pay for membership for a week, a month, or a year. For a year's membership, it costs £450. Monthly membership is £40, and if you pay weekly, it will cost you £9.50. So you save money by paying for a whole year. You need to wear trainers and suitable clothes, but you don't need to bring a towel. That saves carrying a huge bag around with you. We are very lucky to have Sonia Smith joining us, who is going to give dance classes daily at 5:30. Check on our website to get more information about that. We will also have exercise and yoga classes, but those times aren't decided yet. So that's all I have to say for the moment. I look forward to seeing some of you.
Okay, and then in that moment, recording stops. And we can't listen anymore. I just wanted like to play just exactly how it works during the exam. Well, let's see the answer. We're just practicing, but I'm sure it was like really easy for you. Andrea Juliana, what about the first statement? Microphone open, yes. Andrea Juliana. He está 2 veces. Sad, Andrea, sad. Mayra Pinson, what about the first one?
Teacher, I'm not sure. Is 12 May?
Okay. It's 12th of May. That would be it. Be confident, Mayra, be confident. Ana Maria, the next one.
I think it's road for a station.
Only
I'm not
one
sure.
word. Only one word, Anna.
The station.
Okay, it is opposite the station. Okay, we'll see. Andrea Vaca, the next statement. This is a nice one because it has a spelling.
I can share well the spelling.
Andrea, no, don't tell me that. Okay, we'll see if in that case Angelica can help us. Angelica. Está como en modo fin de semana en este grupo.
Hi, teacher. Sorry, I can understand
Couldn't
about the
understand.
exercise.
Let's see. Harold says. That's the one, Harold. Okay, you know, the spelling part is a little bit tricky, especially because notice that usually, first of all, because it's really fast and it doesn't give us like enough time to decide which is the letter that they're saying, right? And there is a kind of thing that they use, let's say those sounds that have like a similar one. For example, we know that in the case of E, in some cases, when we are like trying to remember, we confuse it with I, we confuse it with A, S, and next to C. So we think like also of X at the same time, or Z. So like it has some similar sounds, and while we decide, then they are already like giving us a 5th letter. So in some cases that can be a little bit tricky. But don't worry, I'm sure you will do absolutely fine. Brian, what about the cost per week?
Teacher, I couldn't listen.
Oh my God, what is happening tonight, guys? I'm worried. I thought that it was going to be easy for all of you. Who can help us with the price?
9 pound.
9 with 50 pounds.
You ladies are right, 950 per week. That will be the idea. Okay. Daniela Fernanda. Number 18. What do they provide?
My teacher, I believe that is dance, but this is the last one, I believe. This
Okay.
I wrote. I didn't write. But the last is like dance, I believe.
Towel.
Towel? Okay. Me confundí y pensé que era como una carpa, pero como que me distraje en ese momento.
Don't worry, Daniela. All of us are thinking on the holiday already.
Sorry.
And we are tired. I'm sure, guys, that you are really tired as well. Well, let's have a look at the answer key, because this is something that I wanted to show you in terms of how we check this part in particular. And notice all the possibilities that can be written when we're talking about dates. Could be the number and the TH, only the number, or in this case, writing down the ordinal number in words of it's a possibility. And of course, we have to use may. That is why we have to check them like manually every single possibility, because notice that all of these possibilities are correct. Or maybe someone says May 12th, like putting first the month and then the number. And of course, it's perfectly fine. That is why in this case, there are like different possibilities because of the types of or the ways that we have to write down dates. The case, for example, when we have a spelling, the words have to be absolutely perfect, you know? But maybe we may think, but I'm gonna say something like we think, but if I write down in the final letter an I instead of an E, anyway, like, but you get the idea. Yes and no, because in real life, if you give an address incorrectly, missing a word, missing a letter or missing a number, you would get lost. Janini, yes.
Teacher, sorry, I don't know if I have problem with your audio because I hear an horrible sound like como un pitido.
¿Hay un pitido?
Yes.
In this moment, in this precise moment?
Yes, teacher. Yes, teacher. When you speak, it sounds like zzz, like a background.
What could it be? I'm gonna take off my headphones just to see. I think it's a chicharra. I'm gonna close the window just in case. Give me a second.
But it's when you are talking.
I was going to say a mosquito.
It's a mosquito.
How about now?
Now it's good.
Now it's good.
But talk again.
I think that is better.
Okay, guys, thank you. Yeah, I think it's the chicharra thing. I forgot how to say that. I'm sorry. Freddy didn't hear it? Okay. No, but actually there was like that beeping sound. I assume it's that. But I'm sure how annoying that was a few minutes ago. Well, going back to this part, as I was telling you, so if in this part where the spelling it's required, it has to be perfect, guys. You know, just to let you know. Probably the part of the capitalization also is not a problem at the end of the day. But if it is an address, if it is a phone number, it has to be an email, it has to be perfect. As I told you, if we make a mistake in terms of spelling on an email address, we can't communicate with that person. And well, the numbers and the other ones. So which parts or in which aspect for some of you, you consider that this exercise was a little bit tricky? Because I don't think, oh no, I wanna see, I wanna know
Little bit
like your
tricky.
point of view. Yeah, like, because for some of you, like when I was asking you like, what did you write down? No, I don't have the answer. No, I'm confused. I think I
Maybe
listened to this, but I'm not
the
sure.
last two ones for me.
Okay.
Me
I
too,
got it, but I
teacher.
had some doubts.
The last
about
one is
18 and
Okay.
19.
Okay. It was almost at the same time when they gave the information, right?
Yeah.
Guys, a piece of advice, in this part in particular, if you can write down, the information and then you type down the words, make sure that you can actually collect the answers. Of course, time is a little bit limited, but based on the type of activity, probably it is going to be more complicated, like trying to write down and pay attention to the spelling and the number and the price and etc. So just to be careful with that part. Okay, guys, very good. You have a general idea of one. Remember that this is one of the activities that we will be taking next Tuesday, talking about the exercise number 3 out of 4 on the listening part. Let's have a look at the reading part. Let me refresh your memory. Reading is divided into 5 different parts. From these 5 parts, you will practice in a moment the part 5, what is related to the blank spaces. But let me tell you a little bit what this is about. Today, the presentation is a little bit long. Once again, we start from the easiest to the most demanding. You will be given 5 short texts. Usually, what type of texts? We're talking about signs, we're talking about messages, postcards, notes, emails, labels, etc. The thing is that the information that is provided is probably 1, maximum 2 statements, okay? In this case, there are 3 different possibilities. Well, of course, it is multiple choice. And basically, yes?
No, teacher, sorry.
Okay, good. And in this first exercise, what it is being tested, as the information says, is talking about functional language and synonyms. When we're talking about functional language, that means that information that delivers the message. For example, that help us to recognize that it is a warning, that we are talking about an offer, or maybe that is related to a service. That is going to be the intention on this type of signs. Once again, there is no connection among the 5 signs that you will have to, let's say, analyze in order to choose the proper statement. Usually, the context is like in which places you would find that sign, usually, but notice that it is not only about signs. We have other possibilities to include in that part. Similar to what I told you for the listening part, the first exercise. Read the sign, choose the answer, next. Don't spend more than 30 seconds on each sign. It doesn't need it, okay? We will need that time at the end. So if you are taking more than 1 minute on each sign, guys, you're wasting time. Read the sign, choose the answer, move to the next one. On the next one, notice that now the texts are a little bit longer. I just put this image as an example. There are always 5 items in form of descriptions, for example, of people that you have to match to 8 descriptions. It may sound obvious, but that means that there are 5 descriptions, let's say on this second part, that you won't need. What could be the context? For example, 5 people are talking about their favorite vacations. Let's see that is the information on the first page. Then on the second page, 8 recommended places to visit. So you have to match the places according to the likes and dislikes of the people here on the first page, okay? Although we have 8 descriptions, you only have to use 1 per person. You can't repeat any answer. And you can't assign, for example, for person 6 in this case, parts A and B. Let me see the chat. Okay. Ah, okay. Well, you don't know what I'm talking about. Don't worry, that happens, you know. As I said, all of us are really tired. In this case, now we have to analyze the information a little bit more. The good thing is that usually the topics are, let's say, very informal. As I told you, probably talking about vacations, or 5 people are talking about the types of movies that they like. So here we have made up movies, things like that. It's never like very academic in terms of the type of information that is being presented. That is part 2. Part 3 and part 4, let's say, get a little bit more complicated. In this case, we are going to find texts. Part 3, you have to decide if the statements are true or false. We can't really underline the keywords, you know, because well, we are on this MPT version of a session, but at least to write down those words that you consider relevant. Everybody has a different strategy when, let's say, addressing the types of questions on an exam, you know. As I was telling you, some of you probably like to underline, to write down some notes, to look for the meaning of words. I mean, there are many possibilities. Technically, you shouldn't look for the meaning of the words because it's an exam, right? But one strategy that I thought that actually was very interesting, and that is the one that I'm presenting in here, when we have multiple, true, false statements, is that to make the statements look like questions, right? Look at this example. It says, it is essential to book a place before you join a London walk. Is it essential to book a place before you join a London walk? If we look at this question and then we read the text, probably we're going to find the answer easily, like, is it necessary? Yes or no? That's it. Once again, everybody has a different strategy when addressing different types of questions, in this case, multiple choice. The good thing, true, false. The good thing is that we only have true, false. Once again, probably obvious information. True is because the information actually is related to what it is presented on the text. False, the information is contradictory to what it is presenting on the text. Okay? And the other example that also includes a text, it is part 4. Guys, part 3 and part 4 have long texts, okay? Part 4 is a little bit more demanding because we now have a 4 possibility multiple choice question. It is already, let's say, demanding when we have 3 possibilities. Now we have a 4th one. That means that we have to, let's say, conduct a comprehensive analysis. That is why I was telling you, don't take like 2 minutes analyzing this sign when in this part we have to read like a 3-paragraph text plus analyze the 4 possibilities in the multiple choice question. This is the part that actually needs the time that we probably are wasting on the first part. So my piece of advice, don't waste your time, okay? Usually the questions are related to very specific information or get the general idea. A positive aspect, the questions tend to be literal but paraphrased, a little inferential. They are not really critical. You know, that level of reading actually isn't that evaluated at this point. We get just to the first 2 ones with a little level of complexity, but they are not really critical. So don't really worry about that part. Well, guys, part 5, the one that we're going to practice in a few minutes, is for multiple choice clause. In this case, the idea is to fill in the gaps. There is a text that is incomplete. Which are the aspects that are being evaluated on this part of the text? Grammar and vocabulary. You may be thinking, but for example, what is a skywalk? I'm not expert on any other like this topic. I'm not familiar with that. On this type of exercises, guys, you don't have to be experts, okay? Because as I already told you, the idea of the exercise is to evaluate grammar and vocabulary. So we're talking about things like verbs in the requested tense, if the story is in present, past, or future, talking about auxiliaries, talking about prepositions. That's the type of vocabulary that it is being evaluated up to this point. So you don't have to be experts. For example, if here it says something related maybe to science, do not worry about it. At the end of the day, you will be requested, you know, to fill it up, sorry, with grammatical words. You're gonna do this exercise, guys. So let me send you the second part of this activity, because this is the exercise in general, but as you already noticed, or as I already read from the instruction, there are 5 possibilities, sorry, 4, mientras, es porque la parte 5. Ahí está. There are 4 possibilities for each space. I'm gonna send you to breakout rooms, okay? In this case, we are going to do the activity collaboratively, although the exam is going to be individual, right? But because we're practicing, I want you like to do this activity in groups. Of course, you can imagine what the idea is. You have to choose which is the correct word to complete each of the statements. In this case, there is only one possibility for each space. Although we may think that there are different possibilities that actually match, there is only one. Guys, could you let me know that you actually received the image that I sent to the chat, please?
Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Okay, perfect. Guys, please download it, because when I send you to the groups, well, you wouldn't be able to see it anymore. Let me create the groups. Do we have repeated names tonight? Not really, right? Okay. Angélica, Natalie, Judy, Andrea, Ana María Saray, Daniela, Christine, Stephanie. Okay, so I hope that you already downloaded the image. Also take a screenshot of this slide, guys, because, well, this is the one that you need to complete at the end of the day. I already adjusted so you can share your screen. Because we are practicing, of course, I'm gonna give you 12 minutes, okay? The idea that all of you collaborate finding the answers. Of course, at the moment of the exam, you will be by yourselves. But once again, the idea is to practice, of course. Let's open the rooms. Let's practice. Bueno, Daniela, Angélica, Gilbert, estás en las 6.
Sorry.
Don't worry, Gilbert, I'll send you to the group.
Hi, teacher.
Hi, Angelica.
Um,
In
mm,
group.
I have in group number 1, but
Mhm.
I have problem with my internet.
Okay, don't worry. I'll send you right now.
Thank you.
There you go. I think that not everybody's here. Guys, welcome back. How was it? Would you agree? I'm sure
Fine.
you did.
It was
right?
good.
Okay, I'm sure it was. As you notice, also from the choices for each of the blank spaces, all of them were grammatical words, right? And the idea was to choose the one that actually fits and makes the text have sense. That is basically the idea. That's at the end of the day, the intention. Let's begin. So from group number 1, well, I forgot to put the example, but I'm sure that you already noticed that 0 is was. The Grand Canyon in the United States was created by the River Colorado. Angelica. Well, group number 1, we have Angelica, Natalie, and Judy. Yes, Angelica, could you read the next statement?
Yes, teacher. People visit the Grand Canyon Park to go walking and running, but greatly to look at the view.
You said greatly. Group number 2, did you agree with group number 1 is greatly?
Mainly, teacher.
We have mainly. That says Daniela. Who agrees with mainly from the other groups?
Yes, teacher. Mainly.
Yes, teacher,
I agree with mainly.
It is
With teacher,
mainly. Mainly.
because the principal attraction is the view. So mainly for look the view.
Exactly. And also, well, the meaning of mainly, like if we think of as transparent synonym would be like principally, something like that. As you already said, well, you already explained that that's the important attraction from that part. So which letter is mainly, guys?
B,
Letter
teacher.
B. Letter B.
Yes, teacher.
Very good. Well, the good thing is like almost each statement that we had to complete is like a line period. We finished on view, right? From group number 2, Ana Maria, would you read the next statement, please?
It is a wonderful view made even better by the skywalk.
Very good. Which letter is even, Ana Maria?
D.
That's the one. Did you agree, guys, with that one?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
I do.
Okay, great. Group number 3, Christian, let's continue.
28 is from
But the whole line, Christian, please.
the distance from the skywalk to the bottom of the Grand Canyon is 1,290 meters.
That's it, very good. Which is the letter for from, Christian, please?
I didn't take the letters, just the words.
Okay. Don't worry, guys. Which letter is from? Let's have a look at the chat.
A.
It's A. Very good. Nice. Let's continue with the next line. Andrea.
Teacher?
Yes, sorry.
Sorry for interrupt you. Why from and no other preposition?
When we're talking about 2 points in terms of distance, even talking about time, the beginning is from, talking about where it starts, and to point out where it finishes, we use to. The other possibilities that we had in number 28, we have through, by, and for. Actually, none of them work even closely because as I was telling you, we're talking about where it starts and it's pointing out where it finishes. And always is going to be from to, also for time. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Did I say Andrea for the next one, right? From group number 4. Andrea Vaca.
Yes, teacher.
Mhm.
It's a
It is a platform whose walls and floor are built of glass.
Until the period. So you have to read too.
Okay. Glass because that you can see the beautiful rocks of the canyon.
Until canyon. Okay, let's analyze. 29 definitely is whose. We're talking about like the possession, you know, like that belongs in this case to that place, to the, in this case, the platform. We're talking about that it belongs to that place, possessing, let's put it like that, the floor built of glass. And you said that 30, sorry, you said because? Well, for grammatical combination, let's put it like that. The thing is that because requires that after that we use a complete statement with a full subject verb complement, like the typical sentence in English, you know. And the thing is that this text, the next part begins with a relative pronoun. Which other possibility do you have for 30? If in group number 5, I would like to ask Freddie.
So that you can see.
Very good.
So that you can see the beautiful rocks of the canyon.
Exactly. And then combining the so that, it is working like a conjunction. Like a por lo tanto, something like that. And that is the grammatical restriction in this case. So that goes all together. Very good. Guys, did you have also so for number 30? The other groups?
Yes, teacher. So.
And you know, for the other 3 cases, actually, therefore, although, and already because, they have exactly the same restriction that I told at the beginning. They require a full statement after the conjunction. In this case, the only possibility was actually so. Let's have a look. Yes?
Can you repeat? Sorry, I can listen very well. I have problem with my internet.
Don't worry. Like the case of 30, the conjunctions that we have in here, therefore, although, and because, they require that after them, we use a complete sentence with subject, verb, complement, right? We can't say, for example, therefore that, although that, those combinations are not correct. Now, when we use so, and we put it together with that, so that becomes a conjunction. And it's from the family of therefore. It is a synonym of therefore, talking about por lo tanto. Most of them are synonyms, you know. That is why the only possibility was so, to make that conjunction so that. Yes?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. We are on 30. Harold, could you continue, please? Up to. Harold. Okay. Oh, well, no problem. Let's ask Janini for help from the same group.
Teacher, sorry, can you repeat me?
Sure. We are about to start number 31, but you know, it begins from up to 120.
All right. So up to 120 people are allowed to stand on at the same time.
Until that. Perfect.
At the same time.
Very good. Yes. I think that you guys all agree that that's the only word that we can use to complete that statement, right?
Yes. Yes, teacher.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Some of them are more like transparent to recognize. I'm sure all of them, well, it couldn't be that easy for all of them, but most of them tend to have that idea. Thank you, Janine. Let's continue with the same line. Mayra, the next line, sorry, Mayra Pinzón. Oh my God. I'm very tired. It opened.
It opened in 2007, and since then, thousands of people have used it.
Perfect. Once again, we're talking about that point in time where when it started. The other possibilities don't match that collocation. Probably you also remember the collocations, right, guys? That it's like that grammatical combination that is fixed and it has to go like that. In this case, only then works. I'm sure that most of you agree. Or did you have another possibility for number 32, guys?
No.
All right. Yeah, even the other combination sounds weird, but I'm sure that you also tried the other ones and you notice that they don't work. What about to finish this exercise? The next line, I would like to ask Judy to read it. You
Sorry,
have
teacher.
to. Yes?
Yes, but I have some problem with my computer and I lost my answers.
Oh, Judy, that's awful. Let's ask one of your classmates for help. Natalie, please.
Yes, teacher. What number? Sorry.
We're about to start 33. You have to.
You have to 33. You have to take. I'm on my phone, sorry. You have to take special covers over your shoes too.
Well, read also 34.
No, teacher, there is 33. You have to take. There is 33.
I know, but I was telling you that also read 34, so the idea is not
Okay,
like
sorry, teacher. I think that it's in the
interrupted.
context. Sorry.
Okay, don't worry. So what do you have in 34, Natalie?
I have to read 33 or 34, teacher.
Both, Natalie, both. So
Okay.
finishing the point.
Over your shoes to avoid scratching the glass beneath your feet. Sorry,
That's
teacher, I
it.
didn't understand.
Don't worry, Natalie.
Sorry.
I always say the same on Fridays. We are all tired up to this point. Plus, analyzing these exercises, guys, you're warriors. Okay, let's go back to this. You said you have to take. Although in terms of grammar, it would be a good possibility. Let's see the other ones. Dress and change. In group number
To
2, do you
dress,
also
teacher.
agree? Let's see the chat. Someone says where.
Where?
Daniela Fernanda says where as well.
Teacher, where?
Yes. Where is better? Although we may consider, as I was telling you, in terms of grammar, take actually works. But the idea of take is that, let's, for example, imagine that you have them on your back and that's it. While if we say where, actually, we can imagine that, let's say, an object on our shoes working on what we expect them to do, which is avoid the scratching, right? So where is more accurate instead of take?
Yes, teacher, sorry. I think in the image that we conclude, we mark the incorrect word, sorry.
Okay, don't worry. You know, but don't be sorry about it because that was the analysis and I was telling you. Different, for example, from other like 30 that I was telling you that in terms of grammar, they just don't work. This one works, but based, actually on the second part, the 34, I think that it clears the image a little bit more. So where it is more accurate than take. In grammar, it works, but then it wouldn't match like the idea that, okay, let's protect the shoes. We are about to finish this part. 35 begins from walking on to Sarai, please.
Walking onto the skywall makes you feel like a bird floating high up in the air.
In the air.
Yeah.
Sarai, in the air.
In the air. Yeah.
That's the one. The second that you said, no, the first one that you said in a moment. Very good. Feel once again, it's more connected to the sensation that they are talking about. And of course, if we are talking about that type of, let's say, state verbs, feel is the best one to cover on this. Guys, notice all the amount of time that we took to analyze this exercise. Just in case. Okay. And technically the idea, according to how the exam is, let's say, created, you are supposed to take around 10 minutes to do this exercise. I'm sure that actually you didn't take a lot of time, probably in terms of agreeing with each other, probably getting the meaning of a really few amount of words, because once again, I'm pretty sure that for you, it was really simple. But keep in mind, probably one, that first it makes sense. That has to be the first point of reference for you to decide which word to use. Then, guys, when you finish, like when you put all the words, read the text again. You know, like now it is like just reading a text. Up to that point, you will notice if actually there is a word that looks a little bit weird, you know, as I was telling you, for example, like you said, therefore that, esto suena como feo. No, that doesn't sound like right. And then you eliminate that one and you analyze the other possibilities and you put the correct one. So first, make sure that it makes sense. Read the whole text after it is all complete. And if you have to make adjustments, do the adjustments. But once again, let's try to be as precise and accurate as possible. Well, guys, and to finish the information about the first part of the exam, we have the writing test. Remember that it is divided into 3 parts. And once again, the piece of advice that applies for all the skills, manage time as much as possible. The first part is sentence transformations. It says, what's in part 1? There are 5 questions, but not like questions, you know. There are 5 statements, and for each statement, there is another statement that it's incomplete. The idea that one, you complete the statement, and then those 2 statements mean exactly the same thing. It is a kind of paraphrasing thing, but at the end of the day, the general idea that the 2 statements convey must be the same, okay? For example, it says, we can say, let's say that the original sentence says, not warm enough, which would be like a synonym idea of too cold, right? Pretty much they go on the same line. Each sentence is 1 mark. Of course, once again, it's the first activity of the written part. Don't waste your time on this part, because then we move to part 2. I will go back to this part one more time. On part 2, you have to write a short, notice the word short, communicative message. Usually the idea is to write an email, a very informal text. Guys, respect the amount of words that are being required. You are supposed to write between 35 to 45, no more. This is not the activity, you know, like to show off how much you can write down. If you want to show off, that's part 3. On part 3, you are going to find 2 possibilities, guys. You have to choose one of them. Could be an informal letter, not an email, a letter, or a story. In this case, your story should be about 100 words. This is the activity where you have to spend most of the time. You know, I'm going back as I was telling you. Notice that this is only 5 marks. This is also 5 marks. In this case, it's 15 marks. This is the most important. Well, it shouldn't be like that, you know. But this is the most important part of the written exam. So if you take, like, spend, I don't know, like 15 minutes on this part, and then when you notice it's already like 7:45 and you haven't written the message, and also you have pending the story, guys, then the written part is going to have a really low grade. Similar to the information that I have already repeated, in this case, like the 5th time. Read the statement, make the transformation, don't spend more than a minute on each line. Next. Short message, 35 to 45. Usually it is about 3, maximum 4 lines. Like, hello, I'm writing this for this and this and that. Okay, take care, bye. And then spend your time on this one because this is the one that has more points. And, you know, after many, many times, we get to recognize when a story has actually 100 words. It is very easy. So if your story is really good, but it only has like around, I don't know, 10 words, that's not even like 3 points. So make sure that you actually use the number of words that are being requested. Once again, guys, in this part, don't show off. This is not the part to show off. This is the part to show off. Okay? Questions from this part, guys?
No, teacher.
Before we do our final exercise in terms of practicing, I insist too much on this part because there are really good messages. I'm not telling you that you are not like capable of writing really good messages. Of course you are. But once again, you are wasting all your time, your energy and creativity on an activity that only has 5 points. No, guys, this is the one. Okay. Of course, because of time, we're going to practice part 1. Which actually is a little bit tricky because people sometimes get frustrated because they don't make the transformation as fast as they imagined. We're gonna do it individually, okay? Usually on this part, the 5 sentences are, let's say, related to a same topic. It doesn't mean that you need to complete sentence 1 in order to complete sentence 2. That is not the intention. They are all related to a topic. In this case, this exercise in particular is talking about hairdressers. So guys, what you have to do is to, once again, look at the original statement. Notice that on the second statement, there is a line. In these cases, the instruction, well, I cut it. The minimum is 1 word. The maximum is 3 words. No more than 3, okay? Once again, we're talking about grammatical words. We adverbs, pronouns, auxiliaries, prepositions, all that family. Okay. I'm gonna give you there are 5 statements. I'm gonna give you 7 minutes. I think that it will be more than enough. And this would be like the final exercise talking about the first part of the exam. To finish the session, we will talk about the speaking, which you already know what it is about. Right, guys? As I was telling you, this is going to be done individually. 7 minutes starting now. 5 times up. Let's see how you completed our final exercise. Gilbert, what about number 1? The original sentence was, my friend told me she always went there, so I started going to. Gilbert. That is already gone. Let me ask Janini. Chat.
I should think that it makes me difficult, this exercise, but I tried to my best. So the third, right?
The first one. Statement
The first one.
Hmm.
My friend says, I always go there.
Very good, Janini. What
is the answer, teacher? Sorry.
Go.
Teacher, no is have gone.
No.
Not is like reported a speech. When it's in the past, I usually to change. My friend say I always have gone there, so I started going too.
Mira que están comillas, Daniela. Actually, the reported speech is let's say the original sentence. Number 1 is reported speech. My friend told me she always went there. So let's say if we take the process like from the other angle, if the origin, in this case, the original sentence is reported is in past, that means that the one that was said first would be in present. So,
yes.
Está invertida,
Daniela,
por decirlo así.
you can see?
Señora?
You can see that the sentence is in present simple. So they switch so that's the reason why it's not the what you were saying. But you have to see the structure of the sentence, and that's better for answer.
Okay, thanks. Yes, you're right. The sentences is in reporting speech, and the second is like, how did you say citar in English?
Quote.
Both.
Like, yes, we have the quotations in here. Sorry, good. Let's have a look at the statement number 2. Stephanie, the original was, it has been there for 4 years.
It has been there since 4 years ago.
Perfect, very good. In this case, we're talking about the point in time when it started. And the one for that is since, absolutely. Number 3 said, it stays open until 7 o'clock. Mayra Plata.
Teacher, I'm not sure. I think it will close until 7 o'clock. But I'm not sure, and I'm confused about that.
It won't is for me. Won't.
Doesn't?
Negative.
Just to clarify, once again, the chat is crazy. It's showing me that someone sent a message, and I see that the last message is the one that I sent that says go. I can talk now. It was from Harold. Always go there. Había dicho Gilbert. Gilbert, lo siento, el mensaje literalmente me acabó de llegar. ¿Sabes a qué hora lo envió Daniela? Okay, sorry. Doesn't. You know, usually when the statements are negative, they are a little bit more complicated to analyze. It doesn't close until 7 o'clock. At the end of the day, remember the idea of the 2 statements. We are talking about that's the final moment when the door is going to be open, right? 7 o'clock is the deadline. Let's put it like that. And if we use future, because we said, okay, but anyway, we're talking about closing. Give me, I finished it. Yeah, then you asked me. Yes.
But I thought that you only can put one word and that's it.
But doesn't this one work?
I mean, I thought that you only had to use only one word to complete the sentences. That's the reason why I didn't think in something different.
I said minimum 1, maximum 3.
Where's the okay,
No,
thank you.
no, I didn't write it down, actually. I just told you. And, well, technically it doesn't count as one word. But, well, it's important to keep in mind, guys. In this exercise, minimum 1, maximum 3. Okay. Excellent. Thank you very much. Something that was sent to me. What about to finish? I have my hair cut there every 6 weeks. Jennifer Jimena.
The hairdresser cuts my hair every 6 weeks.
Very good. We have to keep the alignment. Present simple, present simple. Cuts. And the final one, number 5. Actually, number 5. Moví la diapositiva. Number 5 had 2 words in the answer. The original statement was men's haircuts are cheaper than women's haircuts. To make sure that the 2 ideas were the same, we had men haircuts are less expensive than women's haircuts. And it looked just like that. Guys, did you have a different answer for number 5 before I graciously changed the slide?
In the fourth
No,
teacher,
teacher.
I put has cut.
Has cut. You know,
Yes, has cut.
Actually, in terms of grammar, it's okay. You know, the sentence makes sense. But remember that the idea of this exercise is that both sentences mean the same. And that sentence would be in present perfect. And the original sentence is in present simple. No, it is not present simple. It is like a kind of passive voice. But in this case, before I give Angelica the word, it is talking about an action that happens regularly, like it is their routine. So in a kind of implicit line, it is more like present simple. So let's try to keep the line, you know, on that aspect. Angelica, or maybe you have a better idea for that one?
Yes, teacher. I have a similar option that question 4. So I would like to ask if in this exercise we have to maintain the past tense of the verbs.
Not like the past tense, but the idea that the 2 statements are aligned. So for example, if you said cut, like talking about the past, like that was a routine in the past, although the idea is accepted because we're talking about that action, notice that it would be a little contradictory because the original sentence makes reference that the action happens regularly. While if we put it in past, that means that it was, let's say, a habit in the past. So they wouldn't be aligned. And the idea is to keep them as similar as possible, the original and the new creation, let's put it like that.
Okay, because I have writing written, sorry, gets good. Not has, but gets. I write gets.
You said the hairdresser gets cut my hair every 6 weeks.
Yes.
You know, actually that works. Well, probably if we expand the context, that means that it's not this hairdresser, the one doing the action, that this hairdresser tells another hairdresser to cut the hair. I think it works. Because at the end of the day, we're talking about an action that is being done by a different person. I think it works, Angelica.
Okay, thank you, teacher.
Okay. Well, guys, and that was the idea of tonight, talking about this exam. I know that you know. My piece of advice to finish this session is be careful with time. Use your time wisely, you know, on the activity that actually require you to use more time, especially the final parts of each skill that is being evaluated. And well, remember guys that we'll meet then at 8, I hope, to have our final speaking exam from the level B1 and also the final, let's say, activity with me, because then for the other cycle, I will be with another group from 8 to 10, okay? So guys, see you on Tuesday at 8 for our final speaking exam. Have a good weekend, everybody. Enjoy the holiday. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Have a
teacher.
great
Bye.
weekend.
Take care, everybody.
Thank you.
Bye.